Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is again Dhanalakshmi from Pun Vidyashram School. I'm very happy and excited to introduce the next topic in biology. Before you guess the topic, let me show you some clips. Just look into the clips and guess it. Do we sleep every day? Yes, we do. Unless we have an important event or examination coming up, we take a sound sleep, right? But how do we fall asleep? Does our brain shut down when we fall asleep? How are we able to react as soon as we dip our fingers into a hot cup of tea? Just imagine, in case if your mother prepares a yummy food and it's in front of you, how do you feel? Your mouth becomes watery, isn't it? How all these things are happening? How your body is responding to all these activities? Yes, we are going to deal with control and coordination. How our body controls and coordinates different responses in different aspects. Just see, in this clip, when we touch a hot object, we pull our hand away from it, right? So here, the heat is the stimulus. The heat is the stimulus, and pulling our hands away is the response. So we always respond to stimuli. Respond to stimuli. Stimuli means any change in the environment. Here the hot object is the stimuli and you're pulling your hand away. That is the response. Are you scared of cockroaches? Then this is the best example for you. Look at the picture. On seeing the cockroach, the lady started to scream. So this is the stimulus and this is the response. Children, so it's very clear, isn't it? In order to perceive stimuli and provide response, there must be a system behind all this, right? So what is that system? It's nothing but nervous system. So look at the picture. It's a real nervous system. It's a real human nervous system. So it's a very big network of nervous organs, nerves and neurons that controls and coordinates body activities. You know how? By using electrical impulses produced in response to a stimuli. So what you see over here is electrical impulses. So it is just like an electric current that runs along the surface of the nerve fiber to pass the information. So when you touch a hot object, the information is immediately sent to your central nervous system and you give the response very soon, isn't it? It's because of what? It's because the information is sent in the form of electrical signals and it's a very fast response. The nervous system is made up of specialized cells called nerve cells or neurons. What you see in this picture is actually a single nerve cell. So these nerve cells, they control the activities by sending the electrical signals called nerve impulses. So now we will see the structure of neuron. As you all know very well that the shape and size of the cell determines its function. Just look at the structure of the cell. Nerve cell. See, it has so many branches and it is long, isn't it? And it forms a very big network in the body. Do you know why? So it is easy for them to transport the signal from one cell to another cell. If you see the structure, it comprises of three important parts. One is cell body, dendrites, and axon. The broader region what you see over here is called cell body. Cell body can also be called cyton. And the branched one what you see here is dendrites. This branched region is called dendrites. And the long cylindrical region is called axon. A normal cell, the cell body or cyton has a large nucleus in the center and this region is filled with cytoplasm and it has mitochondria, Golgi bodies and other organelles just like a normal cell, okay? And here you can see the axon. This axon is covered by a sheath or a membrane called myelin sheath. This myelin sheath is not continuous. You can see a break in between, right? So that region is called node of Ranvier. And at the end of the axon, you can see the axon terminal. You can see a small branch over here. This is called axon terminal. And how the electrical signals are passed In which direction? So it starts from the dendrites, then cell body, and then the axon, and it goes to the axon terminal, and it moves on to the next. So it is unidirectional. So it starts right from here and goes on and on like this. Our neuron is also like a typical wire, electric wire. If you see an electric wire, it is also covered by an insulator, right? Same way, even this neuron also carries the electrical signals, isn't it? So this region is also covered by an insulator that is called myelin sheath. This one acts as an insulator. Okay, now you don't think that all the neurons are interconnected. Even though it is a big network, all the neurons are not interconnected. If you see, this is one neuron. Just imagine this is neuron A and neuron B. Okay, now the signals from this neuron, it is passed to the other neuron, not directly. There is a small space in between the neurons. All the neurons are not connected. There is a small or a minute space between the neurons. That space is called synapse. You have a doubt, right? How the electrical signals are transported from one neuron to another neuron when there is a small space. At the end of the axon, that is axon terminal, what happens? Electrical signals cannot pass through this gap. There is a small gap, right? So here the electrical signals are converted into chemical signals. And again, when the chemical signals, when they reach the dendrites of another neuron, the chemical signals are again converted into electrical signals, and again it goes on and the process continues, right? So these chemicals, the chemicals that are triggered over here in the small space, are called neurotransmitters. It's given for your reference. So just close your eyes. I'm going to show you some surprise. Yes, how do you feel? Yummy, isn't it? Now, what happens to salivary gland? Does it start to secrete saliva? Yes. What action is this? Reflex action. Before we get into the topic, let me tell you a very important note that there are some specialized cells, sensitive cells, that are present in our sense organs. What is the role of these sensitive cells? The role of these sensitive cells is to detect the stimuli. So stimuli over here is taste, light, sound, smell, heat. These are the stimuli. Okay, all these stimuli, these things are actually detected by sensitive cells that are present in our sense organs. So they are actually called what? Receptors. So this gustatory receptor is present in our tongue, which detects the taste. Photoreceptor is present in our eyes, which detect the light. Phonoreceptors are present in our ear, that is inner ear, which detects the sound. Olfactory receptor, it is present in our nose, which detects the smell. Thermoreceptors, which are present on our skin, which detects the heat. So these receptors play a very important role. Okay, they detect the stimuli and they send the information in the form of electrical signals to the nerves. A reflex action is a spontaneous, automatic, and mechanical response to stimulus or sudden action in response to something in the environment. So reflex actually it happens in an unconscious state when you are not completely aware of your surroundings. Do you know one secret? Your brain is not completely involved in reflex action. You know why? Just think about it. Now, in case if you touch a hot object, you have to take away your finger immediately, right? If the information is sent to the brain, what will happen? Your brain is actually very complex, more nerves are connected to it. Definitely, it's going to take some time to think, right? By the time, what will happen to your finger? Can you imagine? No, right? So, in order to give a quick response, the information is sent to the spinal cord. It is sent to the spinal cord so that you can protect your body very soon. Three important neurons, sensory neuron, relay neuron, motor neuron, are involved in reflex action. You can find the relay neuron in spinal cord. Here, In reflex action, only spinal cord plays a very important role. For what? For quick response. And partial information is sent to the brain. When our finger or hand accidentally touches a hot object, the heat is sensed by thermoreceptor present in our hand. Here the stimulus is heat. The receptor, now it produces an impulse in the sensory neuron and it is passed to the relay neuron. Where do you find this relay neuron? In the spinal cord. Now, the relay neuron, it passes the information to the motor neuron. As you all know very well, motor means it is something related to activities, action. So, the nerve endings of the motor neuron, it is in connection with the muscle. So, the motor neuron passes the impulse to the effectors. Effectors are nothing but muscles. It can be a muscle or it can even be a gland. So, the muscle contracts and we pull our hand away from the hot plate. So, this action, this series is called reflex action and this pathway is called reflex arc. Here you can see very clearly that the nerve endings of the motor neuron, it comes in contact with the muscle fiber, right? So this junction, the point at which the nerve ending of the motor neuron and the muscle fiber meets, this particular point is called neuromuscular junction. With this, let me sign out and see you all with another interesting topic in the next session. Thank you.